Hello guys, this is my victim impact statement. Excuse me, Mina. Thank you. First, the physical. I felt like I was dying. I could barely breathe. I had headaches, chest pain, dehydration from when the rapist Pedro threw me into the ironing board, among other things. He crushed me into the floor with his weight and held sheets and curtains over my face and mouth. Pedro wanted me blind and quiet. He strangled me, choked me, and tried to suffocate me. I was hurting and in shock by the time I was able to get to the hospital and get the rape kit done and get treated to see my husband again. I couldn't even sit down. I felt so sick and violated. I couldn't eat or drink or use the toilet for fear of losing evidence. There was no comfort in this, but I knew that I didn't want it to happen again to someone else. I have back problems that were severely aggravated permanently from this. I had back, neck, chest, and full body pain from the strangulation and from being knocked around until I couldn't move anymore. I didn't want to move, and the rapist, Pedro, wouldn't let me. I had wounds, cuts, and bruises on my knees and mouth, everywhere. The internal damage may never heal completely. How has this crime affected you, your family, or those close to you? I was dead inside when this happened. I lost my ability to trust, my feeling of safety, security, and health. None of it will ever be the same again. I was in shock. It didn't feel real for a long time after. 30 years old, rape, my first time experiencing anything remotely like sexual assault. He surprised me, coming in from the second floor patio of my friend's apartment while I was taking a nap alone. It was complete and total shock. When they told me they caught the guy, I thought I was going to be okay. I told my husband he didn't need to drive 3 hours to come see me. I was wrong. Not that I was coherent enough to be understood anyway. I was so glad to see my husband after finishing with the rape kit, and so grateful to be with him that night. I couldn't wait to see him by the time I had to clean myself up in the little hospital shower, wash the blue stuff away. I was in shock and somewhat hysterical, even though I wasn't showing much of it on the outside. You can't always tell that by looking at a person. I couldn't think about the consequences like AIDS, STDs, pregnancy, or fatal complications from the strangulation, suffocation, and blunt trauma. I had to focus on getting evidence and stopping the monster from being able to assault and rape again, or even kill, or I would break down completely. I told work what had happened and that I needed time. I don't feel like this is something that I should have to hide, and I want other people to know that they don't have to feel that way either. I do my best to appreciate what I have, that I'm alive. I refuse to change myself for one monster. But this isn't a battle that anyone should have to fight in the first place. And still, I know that none of it will ever be the same again. I was still finding carpet in my hair the next day. There are times when I can't do anything without thinking about how I was raped. I find it hard not to think about it every single day. Every sliding glass door is a reminder. I sometimes find it hard to talk about anything else, which is not great when meeting new people, let me tell you. My work has suffered. I had started a second job the same week of the attack. I don't want either of them now. I didn't feel that way before. I loved my work, well, most of the time. But I will do what I have to make things work. To feel okay again, if that's possible. It's difficult to trust people. Social anxiety and fear make it hard to be alone with new people after this violent home invasion. I thought I was going to die when he came in and started attacking me. I ran to the front door and unlocked it when I realized there was a stranger in the apartment that shouldn't be there, but it was too late. I felt the wall suddenly and hard. I was fighting for my life before I knew what was happening. I tried to defend myself. I've had training from the Marine Corps and martial arts, but he was too fast. By the time I could try to yell out, it was too late. I was pinned down and fighting for air. I felt like one of those dead butterflies in someone's collection. I knew if I was too loud, someone might come, but I'd be dead before then. If I didn't make him too mad, he might leave me alive. But what was too much for a rapist? I would be a complete mess if not for my amazing husband, my family, and being surrounded by so many wonderful people in my life. And cats. When you are taken to a bad place, it helps to know that you have a good place to go back to when you're finally able to get out of that darkness. My family has suffered with me. Shock, anger, sadness, outrage. They feel helpless watching me go through this pain, this senseless violence without reason. I don't know if I'll ever feel safe or okay again. I need so much just to survive. I feel sick and violated. It's not something that you can just get over. It can be managed, but it'll never go away completely. It's part of my life forever. I need a weapon or my husband with me all the time. Usually both. Preferably both. I'm afraid this violent monster will escalate his behavior and hurt someone else even worse next time because he's angry and sick. Because I fought back. I'm afraid next time the rapist will kill his victims. Now that he knows he can't rely on threats and intimidation alone to keep them quiet, I'm afraid that Pedro will bring weapons next time to help with his desire to torture, hurt, and kill. Even if he can't get to me, there's always someone else that's vulnerable. I can't live thinking that he will do what he did to me to someone else, here or back in his home country. No one should have to go through what I lived through. I told him to just stop, just stop, just stop. He didn't. He turned my words against me and repeated them as if I should be the one to stop. Stop what? Stop resisting being raped and get murdered too? Stop fighting for my life? That's a bit selfish of him, to say the least. The rapist said he'd go if he opened my legs for him. I didn't. I didn't believe him. Why would I? A rapist can't be trusted. He covered my face and mouth to keep me blind and quiet. He left me like that. What if I had passed out and suffocated? Did he even think about that? What goes on in the mind of a rapist? In my mind, I knew I was going to die. If I hadn't been able to stop him from choking me by getting my hands under his hands on my throat, I wouldn't have made it. Still, he kept trying to strangle me. He took my phone when he fled. I was hysterical when I couldn't find it, when I was finally able to get up to get help. What if he came back? I needed to call 911 again. It's strange, the things that you focus on when you're in a traumatic situation. I was lucky that a Hispanic woman saw me in distress, standing in the apartment stairs, still half naked, and helped me. I told her kid to come up the stairs with us. I was afraid that he would come back and the kid would get hurt. I don't think much about him coming back to silence me. I'm prepared to defend myself if need be. Instead, I worry for others that he will harm given the chance. No matter where he spends his time, he will always be a danger to those around him. When the monster left, he told me, "Don't look, I come back, hurt you," in broken English. I will never forget how angry that made me, as if the rapist knew that he could get away with it, with hurting me and nearly killing me, just because he thought I would keep my mouth shut, that I would be just another one of many silent victims. Well, Pedro was wrong. I've met so many women and others with the same story, either afraid to report or thinking it's not worth it to report. They believe it's too likely that nothing will happen anyway. And they're right. When many perpetrators walk away with probation, if that, I won't be blind or quiet anymore. Thank you.